What's good, gamers? Bloodwolf941 here, and in today's video we're going to take a look at another heavy 2-round burst weapon, but this time it's going to be a sidearm. Another older weapon to go through. You can probably tell based on what I'm using on screen right now, but we're going to be going over the empirical evidence. Before we get started though, if y'all could click the like button, hit the subscribe as well, that'd be really cool. I upload 2 videos a week, Tuesdays and Fridays at noon Eastern time. Thanks! So, empirical evidence. Well, let's establish what it is first, obviously. It is a 325 RPM, 2-round aggressive burst kinetic sidearm. It is craftable, and it comes from the Throne World weapon pool. I'm going to compare this to the Breachlight, which is new this episode, or I guess returning this episode. Liminal Vigil, which is a dungeon sidearm, and the Forgiveness, which is a trial sidearm. There are a couple of other 2-round bursts, but these are the ones that are most up-to-date. This archetype is a little forgotten about, so if things seem a little lame, that's why. This gun was made when there weren't very many of the cooler perks we have now available. Like, if this came out now, I'd expect it to have Pugilist in place of, like, Impulsive Reloader probably, but we'll go over the perks later. So once again, as you can see, I find myself talking about a worse than slot base stat weapon. Has the lowest stability, the lowest handling, smallest mag size, which is funny, and the second lowest range and airborne effectiveness as well. It does not do very well in the base stat department. The only thing that has the highest number in is recoil direction, and as we're all aware, that doesn't matter. With all that being said though, it doesn't really matter. Even with these stat disparities, empirical evidence will outfight these other options regularly. And it's a sidearm. If you know what you're doing and take the right fights, doesn't matter how much range you have, that guy running at you with a shotgun is going to underestimate you and get himself killed. But since you clicked on this video, you're probably a sidearm enthusiast and already knew that. So let's break down the perk options and see what we're working with under the hood. In column 3, you have Ensemble, Pulse Monitor, Tunnel Vision, Compulsive Reloader, Perpetual Motion, and Encore. So Ensemble is ass, do not use it. Pulse Monitor is also ass, do not use it. Tunnel Vision isn't bad. Longer reload time on this gun kind of makes it not that great by default, but it's still not a bad option. Really good for the base stats you want to boost with it. Compulsive Reloader is also ass. So these last two are the ones that you're really going to be competing, like you're going to be deciding between, and I'm going to talk about them together. So I want to use Encore in column 3. For some reason, I just can't. Unlike every other weapon I've talked about so far, I play this gun for kill chaining, with Adagio, specifically. And Encore is a perfect pairing. But I don't know if it's the sandbox currently really power creeping this gun, or if it's the base stats really impacting it, but the initial kill just felt really, really bad without Perpetual Motion active. That extra stability really brings the recoil down to something much more manageable. I'm probably just dog shit though. If you're really, really good, if you're better than me, just use Encore to push even further into the niche this gun is. Use Perpetual like me if you would just want something that you can use to get Adagio off the ground. And then in column 4, you've got Adagio, Unrelenting, Wellspring, Thresh, Swashbuckler, and Harmony. Alright, so Adagio, I already mentioned, is the perk for me. Great for chaining. People do not expect a 30% damage increase, dude. It is crazy. You are able to turn on people after they get a drop on you, and oh god, they do not expect it. This lets you 2 bursts to the head at all resiliences. You only need a 20% damage boost to do that, but this is just, ooh. It also boosts your range, too, so like, I don't know, man, this perk is great. It does lower your rate of fire, and it takes some getting used to, but it's a great fucking perk. Unrelenting is fine. Just Sustain is not worth a perk slot on this gun, in my opinion. There are many other ways to heal, so just use them instead. Regen and a small HP bump is nice. And it takes 2 kills to proc it in PvP. I feel like, yes, kill chaining good, but I want something that'll help me get the second kill. I want, Adagio or Harmony or Swash. Just like a damage boost to really make it easy for me to turn on somebody. If Unrelenting was in the first column, I'd probably use it there. Except for the fact that I said Perpetual makes the gun feel much better, so I don't know. People have talked about how good Unrelenting is, like way back when, and how that was the option. I don't know, I always liked Adagio more just because it's a more unique feeling perk. Wellspring helps with ability span, but you don't really need it. I don't know, 8% is just really hard to see when split among multiple abilities. Not a fan for PvP. The same with Thresh, it's not a PvP perk, don't use it. Swashbuckler's not the worst, since it's 3 stacks, get you to that 20% so you can 2 burst at tier 10. Brazil, It's a sidearm, so melee range is definitely where you'll find yourself. But 3 stacks requires 3 kills or a melee kill. I would rather have Adagio for multi-kills since it only takes 1 for the full benefit. And Harmony's not a bad choice. Puts you at the fabled 2 burst kill threshold after killing with another weapon, and sidearms work really well as a secondary swap option. It also doesn't kill your rate of fire like Adagio. I prefer Adagio in 4, like I said, like I've already talked about a bajillion times. But Harmony works just as well if you're confident in your entire kit. Swash if you're running a very melee-heavy build. So as this is a sidearm, you will have to play within its range requirements, and also make sure the other weapon you have covers those longer options. There's many good energy guns right now that'll do that. High-impact pulses like Red Death, LCs, or the fabled Phylotactic Spiral that I said. I said Fable twice so far. Stop saying Fable. It's not even in the script. You're just fucking ad-libbing it. Maybe you want to scout for super range like I did. Time-Worn Wayfarer fits very well with Keep Away and Eye of the Storm, and I really like the way that the lever-action scout rifles feel. But maybe a sniper rifle is more your speed, and there's a million of them to choose from in the energy slot. Just anything that you can use at a distance beyond the average engagement range, that is what you want to pair this with. Now, if you know me, or are familiar with my weapon reviews, you know that I prefer guns that do well in the neutral over chain-killing options. I like it when a weapon does good all the times when I need it to, without any ramp-up time. This is one of the few exceptions to that, where I have a gun that I explicitly use for chaining kills and going on a tear, just wading into the shit and breaking, well, something. It might be your face, might be my face, but I'm killing at least 2 of your friends. I might not walk away, but it's gonna happen. Just pay attention to your health while you're dueling with this thing. As with all sidearms, obviously, knowing how much HP you have to play with and knowing the exact time to back off and reposition is paramount to success. Paramount? Does that work there? Is essential to success. The sidearm skill floor will smack you if you don't meet it on its own terms, and 2-run heavy bursts are rather unfriendly to newer players, even compared to other sidearms, to be honest with you. Like, we talked about that recoil and how perpetual motion is really important for me. If you're not ready for the kick, if you're not ready to keep the shit on target, you're going to just not hit your shots. You will not stick to targets. But if you're patient and willing, empirical evidence will show you how much of a chain-killing monster it can be. This gun fucks. But with that, that's gonna be it for me today. Thank you guys for watching. How do you have any fond memories of using this old-ass weapon from the Witch Queen era? So 3 years ago? Damn, this is a 3-year-old weapon. One of the first ones that was craftable, too. It's crazy. It kind of feels like it, too. Like, if you look at the perk options, they're pretty outdated compared to the newer stuff. Like, Pulse Monitor, Ensemble, Compulsive Reloader, all in one column. Like, that's so bad. And then, like, second one's got Wellspring Thresh. Not a very modern weapon. Anyway, you have any fond memories of this gun? You think that I'm sleeping on a certain perk combination? Do you think that maybe 2-round burst sidearms are awesome? Do you not like them? Let me know what you think in those comments down below. Thank you for watching. Have a wonderful day.
Strength in numbers, Guardian.